Our Latin American journey continues as we make our way down to South America. In this episode, you will be introduced to Peru, Chile, Brazil, and Bolivia. These four countries have varied climate as well as foods that truly capture their locally grown produce. Join me in this local journey through Latin America. Javier Pela is the Consul General of Peru in British Columbia. Pela will introduce us to Peruvian culture while highlighting the many contributions Peruvians bring to British Columbia.
What we do as a consulate basically is three things. The first thing is to protect and assist our Peruvians in the British Columbia and all other provinces where we have our jurisdiction. The second one is, of course, to work as a link between the Peruvians in the British Columbia and the Peruvian government agencies when they need to have bureaucratic procedures asking for a renewal of their IDs, of their passports. Then this is what we do. And I think that the third one is also to promote the Peruvian culture and the Peruvian interest in the British Columbia. Peru is in South America. We are south of Colombia and Ecuador. We are on the west side, so we have Brazil on the other border. And we are north of Bolivia and Chile. So we are basically in the middle of South America on the Pacific coast. Well, we have 24 departments, we call them departments, and one constitutional province. That is Callao, is the main port in Peru. But also interestingly in Peru is that we have three main different areas. We have the coast, we have the highlands, and we have the Amazon. So it's very rich in terms of geography. And this is what makes, I think, Peru very special. The capital city of Peru is Lima. Lima is located basically in the middle of the coast. And I think it's one of the few capitals in the world that also has access to the sea. So it's a beautiful place to be. We have about 34 million people in Peru at this moment. Most of them are mestizos. 60% of the population is mestizo, that is a mix. And about 10%, a bit more than 10% is Quechua population. Basically people in the highlands. And the rest is about small etnias that are scattered around the country. Yeah, indigenous people. They live in the Amazon, for example. We have lots of different etnias scattered around the Amazon jungle. Some of them actually never met other people. So they are called tribes in isolation. And this is very unique. I think that very few places in the world where you still have this untouched or uncontact population.
There are 51 indigenous groups in Peru. These include the Achuar, Aguaruna, Asaninka, Sipibo, Huambisa, Quechua, and Aymara.
We have around 5,000 people living in the British Columbia. This is an estimate because we have a record of people that come to the consulate to do some procedures. But we also have what we call a floating population. That is people that come here, study, mainly students, and never have contact with the consulate because they are for a short period of time and then they go back to Peru. So we presume that this is about 1,000 people in this situation. So it's about 5,000 in total, yeah. Well, having a large population of Quechua people, Quechua becomes the second most important language in Peru. It's spoken by about 10% of the population. But we also have more than 40 different dialects and different languages because we have so many different ethnic groups scattered around the country. Well, the main currency is, and the only currency is sol. Sol is sun in Spanish, and is related to the fact that one of the main deities of the Incas was the sun. So it has some sort of historic background in our ancestors. Well, most Peruvians in the British Columbia are highly skilled migrants, so they contribute a lot with the economic progress of the province. But also there are lots of entrepreneurs. Some of them are in the gastronomic sector. I probably will speak a bit more on that topic later. That's something we're very proud of, and I think that most people would like to share this asset with this magnificent province and the citizens. Our national dish is ceviche. Ceviche is basically a marinated fish in lime juice, and this is the way it's cooked. So instead of having heat, we use this acidic marinated to cook the fish. And it's served with sweet potatoes, onions, and leches. But of course it can vary depending on the region. You can have a different way of preparing the ceviche in the north than it is in the south, and you have different mixes. You have with seafood, only with fish. So that's our main dish. I think that ceviche is one of my favorites. I also like causa. Causa is smashed potatoes with some filling on it. But yeah, it's a very difficult question. It depends where you are. You will have all different kinds of fantastic dishes to try.
Stephanie Arnao comes from first-generation parents who immigrated to Canada from Lima, Peru. Stephanie was born in Montreal but has now been living in British Columbia for the past 30 years. Even though she was born in Canada, her heritage and culture were instilled in her from a very early age. Stephanie will now introduce us to causa, a popular Peruvian dish.
It's called la Casa Limena. We have over 12,000 varieties of potato in my country. It's a layer potato, and then you can put the filling. It could be tuna, it could be chicken, it could be shrimp, any type of your flavor. Like if you're vegetarian, you could do tuna. If you don't like anything that has to do with like you could do chicken or any type of flavor that you'd like. And then it has another layer of potato, and you can also add avocado in the middle. So you can play around with it. And this is it's usually more like an appetizer. You would eat this like in the summer. It's a cold, refreshing appy. First, you would boil your potatoes. You would that's done, when it's hot, you would peel the potatoes, you would smash them into like a puree. Then you would blend in your ají amarillo. We use ají amarillo in Peru a lot. You blend it, make that into a sauce, and then you mix that with the potato, with lime juice, a little bit of salt, until you get that perfect flavor. And then whatever filling you're using, you put mayo with that. and then you'd start building the layers. Potato, the filling, another layer, and then your decorations, yeah. I guess like we grew up a lot with this dish in my household. I think everybody's a potato lover. So my mom used to have to make batches of this. It's also like when we have like buffets or like potluck, yes. Like when you do a potluck, like it's a very common dish to have in our table. It symbolizes like family, good time, like we like to eat. Yeah. Well, way back, going to my grandmother, I've always seen my grandmother making it, seeing my mom make it, and now I do it for my kids. Yeah.
I think that the top, of course, is Machu Picchu. Everybody knows Machu Picchu. It's a fantastic place with all these big rocks that you really wonder how they ended up in these massive constructions. You also have Nazca lines. Nazca lines have created so many different stories on how they were built in the middle of the desert. And the only way you can see them is from high above, probably flying over them. There are other places that, of course, you can visit. You have the Titicaca Lake in Puno, which is a very nice area. You have in the north some bird watching areas. In the Amazon, of course, you have plenty of beautiful places with some landscapes that you can only dream of.
Leslie Caceres is a Chilean Canadian. Her and her family have a bakery called Panaderia Latina Bakery, which bakes delicious desserts and cakes. Leslie will give us an insight of her country, Chile.
So in order for my family to keep our roots alive, the language was always spoken, very much into the culture. My family owns a Latin American bakery here in Vancouver, which we've been in business for about 20 years. So it's been really a good way to be able to be in touch with all of the Latin community throughout the lower mainland, basically. Chile is in the very, very south, the most southern tip of the southern hemisphere, basically. It's in South America. It's the really long, thin country. It's like the closest country to Antarctica. The capital city is Santiago. It's also the largest city in the country.
There are 10 different indigenous groups in Chile. The largest one is Mapuche, followed by the Aymara, the Aguita, Licanantay, and the Quechua peoples.
Can you tell me like a phrase that is commonly used in Chile? Cachai. Oh. So cachai basically means, do you understand? Do you get it? That's a way of saying that. The currency in Chile is the Chilean peso. So Chilean currency in the beginning was the escudo, and then in the 1960s it became the Chilean peso. There are a few different dishes that Chile is known for. The empanada is the most traditional. There's lots of foods that vary within the season. So there's cazuela, porotos, there's humitas, pastel de choclo, which are all different, very, very different dishes, but they all vary within the seasons.
Carolina Diaz Christie is an entrepreneur and owner of El Antojo, a Chilean catering company which sells Chilean empanadas and other baked goods. Carolina will show us how to make one of her favorite dishes, Empanadas de Pino.
I made empanadas and bread also, so many kinds. Some sweetest things typical from Chile. My business called El Antojo. It's like when you want to eat something and you don't know what, it's like, oh, I have an antojo. I'm gonna make today Empanada de Pino. It's a typical Chilean dish, and the ingredients are the dough first, and then the onion and beef. So we prepare everything together, we put it inside and let it on the oven. But because it's a heavy dish, so the most of the time you eat like a lunch. Oh, the dish is very important for me because my grandma, she made it for all my family. Everybody loved it. She invited us to her house and prepared it for us. And also my brother made delicious empanadas. Well, I started making empanadas because I tried some and I don't like it too much. There's something missing. And I said, okay, maybe I can do that. So I try and it works very good. It was delicious. I just tried so many times until find the perfect recipe. So when I invite my friends and they try it also, they said, this is the best empanada that I tried. And I said, okay, this is gonna be my business here.
What are some tourist attractions found in Chile?
There's quite a few. So Chile happens to have the driest desert in all of the world. So that's in the northern area. It's very beautiful. People go. There's lots of backpacking that goes on there. In the south, you can go to the Patagonia. You can go. There's lots of like outdoor excursions that are very, very common, very beautiful. There's a national park, Torres del Paine, which people like go from all over the world to be able to like backpack throughout there. And then, like I'd mentioned before, Isla de Pascua, that is a Polynesian island that belongs to Chile, and you can, like, it's a totally different culture, like language. It's beautiful.
Renato Mosca is the Consul General of Brazil in British Columbia. In an interview with Mosca, he shares the many contributions Brazilians bring to British Columbia, as well as an insight into the most popular touristic places in Brazil.
Brazil is part of the American continent and in the hemisphere south. And we have borders with 11 countries in South America. And well, we have this enormous territory, and normally people know us about in our context, American context. Yes, we have 20 7 in Canada would be provinces, and we are a federation like US, for example. Our capital is Brasilia. It's a new and modern city, inaugurated in 1961, and it's a new capital because our last capital was Rio de Janeiro, but in the 50s, last century, the government decided to build a new city and transfer the capital to the middle of the country, in Brasilia.
Do you know of how many Brazilians are currently living here in British Columbia?
Around 25,000, our estimate. We had, during the last elections in October, we had 8,000 voters, what is a big community, and increasing, raising the number a lot. Well, our ethnic matrix is based on 3 main different people: African people, First Nations, and European immigration. The first, of course, was Portuguese, because Portuguese came to the territory. But ethnic people, we are formed by 3: African descendants, First Nations, and Europeans.
There are 305 indigenous groups in Brazil. This includes the Guarani, which is the largest group, the Yanomami, which has the largest territory, and the ones with the least number of people consist of a Consul tribe and the Awa.
Well, actually, we don't have a second language. Portuguese is the language spoken in the whole country. We have different accents. We don't have dialects. And, but of course, with the South American and Latin American integration, we are more and more learning Spanish because it's an international language. And today, English is very important for everything. So we don't have official second language, but of course, Spanish and English is spoken in the country. Well, the name is Real. It's a currency since 1994, when we changed the name, and we had a macroeconomic measures to control inflation, and Real is now our currency. I think an important contribution is some Brazilians coming here, normally high qualified professionals in IT, in engineering, and other professionals, and it's an important community in terms of bringing some knowledge and bring workforce. Well, we have many different food influence, especially from Africa and from Italy in this moment. But feijoada is a kind of black beans and meat. It's a very important dish in Brazil.
Here we are at Boteco restaurant, and I'm here with Elione because she is going to show us a little bit more about Brazilian cuisine.
Yes.
Elione Trovo is the owner of Boteco Brazil restaurant. She will introduce us to Brazil's national dish called feijoada. For this recipe, Elione will make a vegan feijoada while also telling us about why she decided to open up a restaurant and how it serves as a Brazilian hub for those who want to feel a little closer to home.
Okay, so the name of the dish that I'm gonna present today, it's feijoada. So feijoada, it's a traditional, it's what we say our national dish in Brazil. It's a very popular dish. But for today, I'm making a vegan version of feijoada. So the real feijoada, there's lots of stories behind the feijoada. And the main ingredient, it's pork. So pretty much it's a stew made with black beans
and pork. The traditional one is made with the pig feet, ears, so many parts of the pig, yes, but definitely here, no. Here boteco, nowadays the majority of people don't use all those parts. So pretty much it would be black beans cooked with pork and sausages, different types smoked sausages. And so that's the stew. This is what's called feijoada. But the feijoada has all the ritual, the way it's served. So we always serve feijoada with white rice, kale, and cassava. Cassava, we call farofa, that is made of cassava. So it's a cassava flour, and vinaigrette, which is like a salsa, like tomato and onions. So all this makes the feijoada. So the story tells the feijoada started in the slave times. So Brazil, especially north of Brazil, for being closer to Africa, it's one of the countries that got the most slaves in histories. So the story goes that all the slaves, they used to collect the leftover food from the white people, and they would cook all the meat with the beans, and that's from where came the feijoada. So it's the food that the slavery eat. So it's a dish. It's a very popular dish in Brazil. Like I said, it's our national dish, and the fact for being simple and not so expensive, it's a dish that all the classes can eat in Brazil. So yeah, Boteco has been here with me it's gonna be 8 years now in January. So it's a long time. And like I say, I'm very proud what we have done here, because I totally feel Boteco is like a community center, a Brazilian hub for the cultural aspect, not only for food and drinks, because we also have the caipirinha, which goes very well with the feijoada. They pair very good. Caipirinha, which is our drink made with cachaça, that also comes from the sugar cane. So we are this hub here when there is like music. We get lots of musicians. We always have lots of live music, and foods and drinks, and just I think like Boteco is the happiness, like when you go to a restaurant and you feel like you are home, when you kind of always, everybody knows everybody. There is that very neighborhood home thing. So I think that's why I have Boteco. I love this part. It's like everybody says, restaurant must be one of the hardest business, and I have to agree. It's like 24 hours, 7 days a week, you are connected. But also it's something that, especially for us, that we are so far away from home, I feel so special I feel so grateful to be able to give this to the Brazilians here. Like we have people that come here and they're like, I had people crying here, where they say, oh my God, this reminds me so much of my grandma. Oh, this food reminds me so much of my mom. So yeah, so it's really good. And the other thing that has been happening a lot, and actually just on Sunday, we got the family from Brazil. I got a mother from Brazil find us online and want to make a surprise for their kids that's here. So like I would say at least twice a month, I'm doing deliveries for kids where the mother is sending the food to the kids. So yeah, so I feel it's very nice, and it's like how food connects you to your roots.
Our entrance door has always been Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro we could compare with Vancouver, for example, where mountains meet the ocean and a lot of bays, and Rio is like that. It's a beautiful city, a lot of attractions, and it's a traditional tourist destination in Brazil. But of course, we have the Northeast, many states, fantastic states like Ceará, Rio Grande do Norte, Bahia. They have different culture, different influence, and fantastic beaches for European and American tourists from North America. We have Amazonia, that is a very important place, and we are improving more and more the ecotourism in Amazonia. You can go to Manaus, the capital of Amazon state. It's really interesting because you have contact with the forest, the rainforest, with the animals, and this is really a nice experience. I could quote as well Foz do Iguaçu Falls is the biggest, maybe, I don't know if it's the biggest in the world, but it's very impressive. And Foz do Iguaçu is a city in the Brazilian, South Brazil, and it's a very interesting place to visit as well.
Lucia Valda Ovando is a Bolivian living in British Columbia. Lucia will be telling us about the beautiful wonders of Bolivia, as well as one of its national dresses and her favorite traditional dish called picante de pollo.
My country is located right in the middle of South America. So we are right in the middle, and we have a lot of neighbor countries around us, and we're actually also landlocked, so we don't have opening to the sea. But yeah, we're right in the middle. We are neighbors with Peru, Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, Paraguay. Yes, so pretty much everyone that's like right next to us. We are like divided by cities, like main cities, I would say. We only have 9. Like they're actually called, like in Spanish, departments. I don't know exactly what it would be translated to, but yeah, we're like 9 main cities, I would say. Yes, we actually have a very, very diverse country. There's a lot of ethnic groups. We also have a lot of different languages. We have 35 different like native tongues, but the main ones are Quechua, Aymara, after Spanish. So those are very predominant, especially in the like indigenous populations. So those are the main languages there. But besides from those, or like coming from those, we have like another 35 dialects that the indigenous people speak.
Bolivia's diverse ethnic population include mestizos, indigenous, Afro-Bolivians, and Europeans. There are a total of 38 recognized indigenous peoples, including Aymara, Quechua, Chiquitano, Guarani, and Moxeño.
My country's currency is Boliviano, so peso Boliviano. Yeah, that's always been the currency. We actually have a lot of different and a very big variety of traditional dishes. Yeah, the name of the dish that I'm gonna cook for you guys today is called picante de pollo. So it is called, pretty much a spicy chicken, and it's originally from my city, from Sucre, and the main component is ají. Very similar to paprika in terms of like spices, but it's like locally produced, and then chicken, and then potatoes, which are, as I mentioned, very big in my country. One ingredient that I don't have and I wasn't able to find here, that's also a dehydrated type of potato, but there's no way to find it here, unfortunately. And then some spaghetti. Yeah, it is actually quite complex, but it's very worth it, I would say. Usually you need to like let the ají sit overnight. Just mix it with some water because it's powder consistency. As I mentioned, very similar to paprika, so you let it like kind of sit overnight with some water and just form like a paste. And then I would say next day, kind of cook your chicken as you would when you are making chicken soup, with like some onions, some garlic, just get that flavor going on the chicken side, and then start preparing your ají, which is like the main component. So for that you also need like a lot of spices, kind of mix it up with some onions, give that flavor, garlic, and then really form like a paste, and just try to cook it and boil it as much as you can, so the flavor is there. And it usually can be a very strong spice, so you don't want like people to get sick or feel it too heavy in their stomach. So just need to cook a lot, grab a lot of flavor, and then just mix up with your chicken, and then just cook your potatoes separately and your pasta separately, just boil pretty much. And then you plate it, you serve it, and pretty much the star of the dish is the chicken with the spice. We have a lot of different national dresses and costumes. They all come from different like typical dances, and as I mentioned, it's very it depends on the region. So different regions have different costumes, different type of dances. But I would say in terms of numbers, at least we have over 50 different costumes or traditional wear that we typically use for like different dances, or like just to showcase the culture and maintain the tradition. But we have quite a lot. So this is me when I was like, I don't know, maybe 15, 16 years old. I participated in the Virgen de Guadalupe, I don't know what you call it, parade. We have a 2-day parade in my city only, that's literally just dancing and representing the culture. So this is from the dance called caporales. So I would say caporales is one of the main dances we have in my country. It's like one of the most well-known dances that we have. It has, I don't know, beautiful type of costumes, like very typical traditional. This is called pollera, the like little skirt here, very very nice one. Touristic attractions, we have many. I would say one of the most one of the main ones and the most known one, especially in these like recent 10 years, I would say, because it's just been featured everywhere, is the Uyuni salt flats. El Salar de Uyuni. It is like the biggest salt flood in the world, and it's just insane how it looks like. It's insane. You see all the floor reflects to the sky, So it kind of seems like a one thing. So that's been like very, it's become very popular, and it's been on all like the travel lists and masses, and even like new wonders of the world. Well, our actual cities are like touristic places because they are very well preserved from the colonial times. So my city in particular, Sucre, it is, Potosí as well. So they are very, just like very well maintained. We keep like very old buildings, houses, everything is like untouched from like the colonial times. So that also makes it very attractive to tourists. But yeah, and then one of the largest lakes, Lago Titicaca, which is shared with Peru. That is a very big lake and attraction for people that really want to come and see it. Yes, I highly recommend anyone in the world to come visit my country. It's very rich. I think it's just kind of hidden or it's kind of hard to reach. I would say that's one of the main things, but every single person that I know from like Canada or the US or Europe that have made the trip all the way down to like Bolivia, they always have the best things to say about it. They are very like impressed with the food and impressed with all the things that are there to be seen and all the variety of everything, weather and foods and everything depending on region. So it's very, very, a really nice experience for them. So I highly recommend it.
South America just keeps getting better. In our next episode, we will finalize our tour with Uruguay, Paraguay, and Argentina. Don't miss what these beautiful countries have to offer in this local journey through Latin America.